A peculiarity of CardExchange that some users find a little bit hard to understand is the mappings, and sometimes even the fact that it is necessary to specify mappings. Therefore, it is worthwhile to spend a video on this phenomenon. What you have seen in the advanced video about connecting to an Excel database is that the card definition wizard gives access to the full configuration of your card. The first wizard page allows for specifying the base elements of your card definition, which in the entry edition are limited to a template and optionally a magnetic stripe and a database connection. These base elements need to be tied together. The card template has variable text, images and barcode objects that need to be populated with data. Likewise, the magnetic stripe has tracks that need to encode something. This tying together is done on the second wizard page, known as the Mappings window, and directly accessible from the configuration menu. To show what kind of mappings are available, I will first switch to the simple case that there is no database connection. As you see, the number of options in a drop-down menu is pretty limited. It is still possible to use a photo mapping, and the photo is even stored on the hard disk, but since there is no database, CardExchange only remembers the last photo that was taken. The name and the job title cannot be read from the database and therefore have to be typed manually. It is not necessary to do those manual changes in the designer. We still use variable text objects in the template and then map them as enter manually. The additional information allows us to specify an initial value. Then it asks whether the value should be editable in a manual entry window. The manual entry window can be opened from the data menu and looks like this. With these mappings we can personalize a card despite the fact that we do not have a database. Back to the mappings window we can see a few other mapping types. The concatenation mapping allows for combining different fields. For example, I could create separate entries for the name and the surname by using the concatenation field for the name object. The concatenation mapping allows for specifying a prefix, a suffix and separators. I will add a prefix and separate the fields with a space. As long as there is no database connection, we have two more mapping types. The global counter makes it possible to show a number on the card that is incremented automatically each time you print a card. The first card will have number 1. The second card will have number 2, etc. If you print with Ctrl P, you can set the desired counter value for the next card to be printed explicitly. The print date mapping allows you to show the print date on the card. You have to select a date format from the list. Take care that you use the correct month-day order. If we now switch back to the card with a database connection, we get some extra mapping types. The most obvious one is the database column mapping, which simply copies the content of a database field to the card object. This mapping type was used for the job title. There are also a couple of mapping types related to the names. The name mapping combines the different parts of the name into a single field. This drop-down menu makes it possible to select the desired name format. You can also choose to show only the first name, the initials, the last name or the personal number. What database fields are shown when you choose these options depends on your database definition. On page 3 of the database definition wizard was specified what database fields contain the name info. The photo mapping needs more details when connected to a database. You need to specify the database field that points to the image, and you have to specify the path and the extension of the image files. This is also the place where you can set a fixed cropping ratio to be used in the image editor. We gave a short overview of the mappings window and the different mapping types that are available in the entry edition. Thank you for your attention.